Okay, good evening and welcome to the special Millbrae City Council meeting of March 10th, 2026. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Fong.
Here.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Here.
Councilmember Riley.
Here.
Vice Mayor Rinaldi.
Present.
Mayor Holliber.
Present.
All members of City Council are present.
Okay. And yes, Vice Mayor Rinaldi is joining us at a satellite location. Do we have to ask those questions for this or do that during the regular meeting? Okay. Okay, so we have tonight the Planning Commission interviews. We have two applicants. And the way that we're going to do this is each council member will ask one question of each applicant. Is there an echo? Each council member will ask one question of each applicant. We're going to do one applicant at a time. So we would ask whoever's going second to leave the room to not hear the questions. And we would like to ask the same questions to both applicants. So everybody ask the same thing each time. We have some draft questions that were provided by our city staff. You could either ask one of those questions or ask a question of your own. And we'll try to do each interview in about 20 minutes. So we will begin with Amin Zarian. Yes. So if Mr. Nugu can, if Elaine will, so the clerk Tran will lead you out of the room. Okay. And I'll begin. Thank you. Thanks for applying and welcome this evening.
Yeah. Thanks, Mayor, and the council members for accepting my volunteer day vacation, for taking time to talk to me today here.
Yes.
Looking forward to talking to you. I don't know if you hear me well. Or...
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to ask just to start, what interested you in applying to become a planning commissioner in the city, and how did you prepare for this interview today?
Of course. May I know how much time I have for each question? 20 minutes, I think. 4 minutes. Okay, good. So the question was how I got to know about these positions. So I have been involved, me and my family living in Millbrae for the last 8 years. And at different point of our life here in Millbrae, I was involved with the city at different stages. For example, I was trying to get, modeling permit from the city. At some point, I was involved with reviewing the neighborhood. We're trying to remodel their houses. And on top of that, I was with the enhancement and beautification committee right before COVID. I was involved with the city. And the highlight I remember is, in many meetings, we were deciding where to put the chairs that, city built with the recycling material. And I still remember that, we had to go walk and decide where to put the chairs, the seats, in the Millbrae, green areas, right? So I still remember that, and then whenever I think about it, like being involved with the city and, having an impact to at least as small as location of a, chair in a park is very rewarding. And for these specific positions, I think me and my family look at the development that's happening in the city, in downtown, in different locations, and we always get happy when there's new development that helping the city getting better and better. And my background is mainly engineering, so I like looking at new construction, new buildings. When I did the remodeling for my house, I did the drawing all by myself. So, I had to learn the drawing tools. I submitted the drawing. I went through the reviews. I had to modify them. So I had to read the Millbrae rule and regulations about remodeling and extension and all that. So I feel like in terms of the knowing the city, how it works, and what matters, I'm pretty much familiar. And I'm looking forward to make an impact moving forward.
Thank you. Let's go to Councilmember Riley, if you'd like to go next.
Hi, thank you for coming here and interesting to apply this commission. So my first question for you is, what interests you in apply for become the planning commissioner? In this last question? Oh, okay, sorry about that. Okay. What aspect of your academic work background or experience qualify you to be a City of Millbrae Planning Commissioner?
Yeah, good question. Thanks. I think, as I mentioned, I have engineering background. I have done drawing of planning documents myself. So I can see in myself when you give me, any project drawing, I can understand it in less than 15 minutes, right? Because I have done it myself, right? In my engineering background is electrical engineering, not civil engineering. But during that experience, I think I'm very familiar with that. And that's the technical. And my day-to-day work is also going to meetings, hearing about proposals, and basically conflict of interest between different teams that are trying to do the same thing. So my day-to-day job is getting over that, put the teams together, and lead them toward, making a decisions that's better for the overall, whatever that project is. And I think that ability of hearing different people, different proposals, ask the right questions, so I understand, and then think about it, and sometimes be creative to come up with new solution for sometimes in life you get into a problem which is everybody's stuck, right? So you need some ideas out of the box. So I think that aspect of my day-to-day work would be helpful, especially in a planning commissions. I'm familiar with the efforts that the planning committee needs to go in terms of the development in the neighborhood, in the commercial area, in the industrial, right? And not always it's easy decision, right? Sometimes both sides of the story is good or bad. So you need to decide between good and good or bad and bad, right? And then how to navigate that decision making is based on your life experience. So I think I can bring that life experience to the city and help them to make a better decisions, or at least ask the right questions that helps to make the better decisions, right? I think we have been in Millbrae for 8 years, right? So with my family, and I don't know why my daughter has been talking about, becoming a scientist and governor. So I think one of the, not the last, but the least reason I'm pursuing this position is to just set up a role model for her. Even if I get to this or not, I think she's learning from me. And either, if I'm, get the honor to work with you, help the city, I think that's more long-term impact for her. And even if I don't get to, on this committee, I think I've tried. So I think that would be a good lesson for her. And so I think to just summarize, going to my engineering route in my life in Millbrae, I'm excited about the positions, and I'd be honored to accept that. Or if you guys think the other candidate is more suitable, I think that's an honor too as well.
Thank you. You are engineer, which is smart, and you want to be a good model for your beautiful daughter. Congratulations, you're a good daddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Okay, let's go to Councilmember Nguyen next.
Thanks for showing up as a fellow engineer, electrical engineer. Really appreciate you stepping up. It's not easy moving out of the equations to the public light and then influencing policy. It's a 180 in my opinion. But so thanks so much for your courage to come up here. That said, I know some of the things I want to understand is your values, right? And then more importantly is how you would prioritize those values when applied to decision-making on Planning Commission. And then after you've answered that, it would be great to kind of get experience from your day job and how you think that would be applicable.
Of course. Yeah, thank you. I think, as you mentioned, like, I see this as, you mentioned you're an electrical engineer as well. So I see this as also a journey for myself to grow and learn, get to know more people and learn how they do the different things. I think that's part of my journey. So now going back to your question in terms of the values, I think a couple of main ones. One is transparency is a value. There's always a conflict of interest, right? Sometimes we don't know things. Sometimes we have misunderstanding. But I think what helps is transparency and being open to communicate. And the second one would be the honesty. Like, sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we do the right things, but if we can always stay honest and honest with ourselves, actually, that would be good value that I can share with the city, with the fellow. And as you mentioned, looking into developmental plans. Sometimes they are small, sometimes they are big and more complicated. Digging into that, looking into all the details, right? So you can understand the impact of the details into that neighborhood, and into also the person who is trying to develop is a city, company, industry, right? So they put their investment, their money into that, right? So understanding the impact of your decisions, both sides of the the story, or both sides of the game, right? That's very important. And I think on a day-to-day basis, I practice that. I go to many meetings every day. There are many people every day that I work with from different teams, different mindset. Every team is trying to optimize toward what they're trying to do, right? But the high-level goal and mission is, make a product, right? And then all the small teams trying to make that. I think that's a similar thing. If you consider this city as a product, right? That all of us, we're trying to make this product better and better and better. Of course, we have different mindset, different way of thinking. We think different things are better for this product, right? So I see that analogy between what I do as a day-to-day. I work in consumer electronics. We make products, and then at the end of the day, we need to deliver, no matter what, right? So we have timeline, we have cost, right? And then I think those things also in the city, right? So you have limited, resources. You have a limited timeline. You need to make a decision, move forward, right? I think this skills, or if you want to call it value, has been practiced by me for over 15, 20 years of my experience here in America, and I think I've been here in California about 13 years. So yeah, I think to your questions, as summary, I have personal values, and I respect them, and I understand the society values, and I try to make them better. Sometimes I disagree with society values, right? So I think that, we are all on a journey to make our society better and better, even if it's a small thing, right? So I'm looking forward to do that, basically. make the values of our society better, but by doing small things. Yeah, what I was thinking.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Councilmember Fung.
Thank you, Amin. Thank you for joining us this evening and also taking your family with you
Of course,
as part of
an
this
honor.
journey. I think out of the 5 of us here, I think I'm the only one who actually had been in your shoes before. I still remember 2017, exactly 9 years ago. And I think my daughter right around the same age as yours. It's when I began the journey of public service. So looking back at that, but more importantly, it's not only what we do, but why we do it. And I think you've articulated quite a bit of that at the beginning of your conversation with some of my colleagues on the dais. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for the comment. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, having said that, then that takes a good segue to the questions that I wanted to talk a little bit about with you and also the next candidate as well. It's particularly relevant because your family's here with you, is if you can help describe what you see as the future of Millbrae should look like. Because we, as part of this job, is to shape that future. And think about it, not only from the physical building form and the shape of the city and the transportation network and all the hardware, right, that the city has to offer, but how do you see this city needs to transform into, say, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, right? A place where you want your family to grow up. How do you see that in the next 10, 15, 20 years in Millbrae in terms of growth?
Of course. I think it's a very good questions, and two things I can mention. Before this new construction in downtown, I think the building happening right now. Whenever I and my family were going into downtown, I was always thinking, why there are so many stores closed, and why there are so many stores look old, right? Why this, why the neighbor towns looks much modern than where we are living in, right? And then that's despite that we are close to the railroad, right? We're close to the airport, and that brings opportunity, right? That brings business opportunity and investment, right? So I was always thinking, that, on back of my mind, why the Millbrae is a little bit not as developed as the other ones, right? And since this new construction, I think it's like 4 or 5 stories, 6 stories here in downtown is happening. I think Staples was there before, right? Office Depot, yeah. And every time we pass, with my daughter, we talk about how good the workers are. They're making progress very fast, and then even she says like they're professional, because we compare that with the other another house development in our neighborhood who took like 2 years, and then we always say, oh, these are professionals, and then I just can see when this building finishes, that's gonna change the image and the value and the liveliness of the downtown, right? It's gonna bring new stores, new people, and then it's just gonna change the environment of the downtown. So I to your question, I see the similar thing for the future. I think as I mentioned, being close to airport, railroad, San Francisco. We should find a way, I don't know what that way is, we should find a way to bring investment in the city so we can modernize that. So it becomes, it gets a more modern image on it, right? I think there has been a lot of effort been done so far, and it's great, and then we should continue and brainstorm. I think this would be an opportunity for me to brainstorm with you, with other city members, and with everybody involved, right? So small ideas, if we put them together, you know, they become better. For example, one example, like when I was in enhancing committee, you know, I was talking to the members saying that like maybe we can give, you know, whoever wants to remodel their house, if they, you know, make their front yard landscape, you know, better, we give them some discount on the fees, you know. So maybe that, you know, we can encourage neighborhood to put up a better landscape out there, right? So like some ideas like this, you know, that unfortunately didn't go through, but I'm sure, you know, we can now. I'm coming back after I think 5-6 years. I'm more mature, more experienced, so I have seen more stuff in both city and my work. So I'm hoping to bring more ideas. So I guess to summarize to your questions, I don't know exactly what, but we're going to do our best.
Thank you for the comment.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go to Vice Mayor Rinaldi.
Good evening, Mr. Zarian, and thank you for joining us tonight and taking time out of your busy schedule and your family life to offer your service to the city of Millbrae for a planning commissioner role. Also, thank you for your previous service on the enhancement committee. Saw that in your application as well. Being a lifelong resident of Millbrae, I've seen a lot of change take place over four decades. Some good, some not so great, but in the end, Millbrae is moving forward, which is a positive thing. My question to you tonight is, how do you perceive the role of planning commissioner in terms of maintaining the architectural character and standards of specific neighborhoods and commercial districts during the design review process?
Thanks, Mr. Reynaldi. Appreciate that for the comment. I think I only have 6 seconds. Can we get like 2 more minutes?
Yeah, you can go a little bit longer, yeah.
Okay.
We said about 20 minutes, but yeah.
Okay,
that's fine.
great.
Let it keep on going so I have.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Rinaldi, I think I should should be honest with you and you know, just tell you, you know, I'm kind of engineer in consumer electronics, so I'm kind of fan of modernization. But I can see the limit of that. I don't think. I think for downtown business area. To be honest with you, I personally prefer a modern style, and but I think you're trying to see if I would rather keep the basic character of the neighbor. I think in residential area, in neighborhoods where people living, it's their life, it's their house, right? If they're you know, if you know, it is the way they like, so we should respect that, you know, whatever each neighborhood would like in terms of, you know, that characteristic. Want to be modern, keep that whatever it is, right? But for industrial zones, for downtown area, you know, to be honest with you, I'm a huge fan of modernizations, and for you know, beyond downtown, in, you know, in industrial zone, I think safety and environmental concern are important. Where, you know, I guess where the people are not seeing, you know, is still important that the safety and environmental concern of the city are being concerned, right? So I guess if you want to summarize to your questions in three category, you know, I guess the questions are difficult. I'm trying to put my mind, you know. So I guess I can summarize it in 3 category: neighborhood, residential. We should respect what people think, what the neighborhood wants. Downtown area, category 2. I'm fan of modernization, and in category 3, which is other industrial area in the city, safety, environmental impact, also neighborhood impact. We should be aware, we as a city, as a, the commission, planning commission, we are responsible to protect Millbrae residents' rights and safety and health, right? So that's kind of, I can break it down in 3 categories. I don't know if that makes sense, answers your questions.
It does. Thank you, Mr. Zarian, and thank you for being such a great example for your daughter as well.
Thank you, Mr. Rinaldi.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Zarian. Thank you for interviewing, for applying, and for your interest in the role. You're welcome to stay in the audience. We're going to invite the other applicant right
Of
now.
course.
And then at the beginning, towards the beginning of our regular meeting at 7 o'clock, we will discuss and eventually vote on.
Of course, thank you for giving the opportunity to me and my family to be here. And I think that was you guys had hard questions. So apologize if I didn't answer very directly. I was trying to put my mind around the questions, but good questions. I think, I'm sure next time I come to downtown, I will think about these questions and then to see how we can help each other.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Thanks, Ms. Rinaldi.
Mr. is it New or New?
New, correct, yes.
New? Okay. All right, well, thank you and welcome, and thank you for your interest in the role and for applying. We're going to have, the last applicant, it took about 23 minutes approximately, so not a hard set rule, but we'll try to do the interview in about that time. And each council member will ask one question. Everyone will ask the same question that they asked the previous applicant, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll start just by asking what interested you in applying to become a planning commissioner in the city, and how did you prepare for the interview today?
So what interests me to apply to this position, I guess I'll start kind of background into Millbrae, how I got here. I'm a Bay Area native, born and raised. I lived in multiple parts of the Bay Area, but really what drew me to Millbrae and wanted to settle and live here were 3 distinct things. The first one was there's a unique sense of place and a small town community vibe that I really enjoyed that felt very different compared to a lot of the other cities in the Bay Area. There was a big walkability aspect that I really enjoyed, being able to do a lot of daily needs on foot without having to leave Millbrae was really convenient. And finally, there's a very temperate climate that I really enjoyed that really stood out for Millbrae. And these are 3 aspects that I do really enjoy, and I hope to see Millbrae continue to embrace, as well as having that guide their development for the future so that other residents can also enjoy that as well. And so that's kind of like a big reason why I really wanted to apply for this, kind of expanding on that a little more in terms of like sense of place. It's really how it draws people in, whether it's a unique look and feel of a place that draws people to want to spend more time in a neighborhood. Things like this are really what provides an opportunity for a resiliency in terms of, resiliency in terms of just getting to know your community members. The more you spend time with each other, the more you see each other, it builds a sense of trust, security, community familiarity. And that's really what I enjoy about Millbrae, spending my time around here. Secondly, walkability, it also incorporates a lot of that as well. The more you spend time outside of cars, seeing people, you get to build that same rapport, familiarity, and build that trust as well. And in addition to that, also being able to provide more accessibility and equitability through walkability, that provides an opportunity for people of all ages, especially because Millbrae has a population, 40%, more than 40% are youth or seniors who may not have access to cars. And so that provides an opportunity for people to really invite them into public space, public life, and be engaged in community. And so all of these are opportunities and reasons why I really wanted to apply to this commission, to be able to guide some of the principles and shape how Millbrae develops in the future, especially because planning, zoning, development, all these are opportunities that shape these characteristics. And yeah, that's why I wanted to apply. And yeah, that's kind of how I prepped for this, is just kind of drawing on my own background and experience and trying to bring that into this interview and opportunity. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. We'll now go to Councilmember Riley.
Good evening, Mr. New. Thank you for coming here and interesting to be our Millbrae Planning Commission. So look your background, your landscaping architecture, and you have urban planning background. So for the Planning Commission, maybe a little different. My question for you is, what is your understanding of this role and the responsibilities of the Planning Commission?
So my understanding of this role is to really guide the development, provide advice for council members, listen to residents, and really listen to what they have to say to make decisions regarding the development, whether it's long-term development, such as specific plans, general plans, any documents that revolve around the zoning and land use of the city, as well as also how the look and feel of the neighborhood or the city is. So things like applying for, any sort of renovations in redevelopments or single-family homes, things like that. That's all our considerations that the city needs to take into account, and that's where the Planning Commission provides their advice and input to guide that.
Thank you.
Okay, now go to Councilmember Nguyen.
Thanks, Terrence. I'm impressed with your background. You have a lot of, it looks like architectural experience, which could be pretty useful in terms of what this role is about. Having said that, though, can you kind of go over your set of values that you think apply to this role, specifically how you would shape decisions around those values and the Planning Commission in Millbrae? Maybe go through your thought process, decision-making process, all the details that you have in your day job. It would be great to get examples from that as well to back up your statements. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'll go into my background a little bit as a landscape architect and watershed planner. I work at different levels of planning. This is both high-level planning, future planning, especially as it revolves around watershed and water resources. I also work in near-term planning and development. That's specifically designing sites, incorporating how the place will look and feel, how people can interact and engage with it. And so in all of these aspects, it requires working with both a developer, a client, the city who will approve or permit these projects, and finally the public who interfaces with these. And so in my job, I do have to interact with all these different agents or these key stakeholders within the project. And so I think in that aspect, having that as a day-to-day, I am able to work with them and listen to their concerns, incorporate those concerns, thoughts, and needs into each of these projects, and also just really consider how they would like to use a site and build that into my design and thought process. So that's how I would approach any sort of decision-making, is really understanding that there are multiple stakeholders involved in a project. It's not just one person. And it really should be a project that is designed for the benefit of public interest for the public community and for long-term benefit in whatever way it's being seen, felt, or used. I think in terms of just like my guiding morals and principles of such, there is a transparency that is needed. That is a big part of my job, is just documenting a lot of my procedures, working with a lot of my clients are the city of San Francisco, and so we do have to work with them, document, making sure that everything is publicly accessible, that people have an opportunity to comment and provide feedback. And so it's really taking a lot of that transparency and opportunities for them. And then finally, for me personally, as I had mentioned before, the 3 guiding principles that I have that I've really incorporated through my education and just work and life experience is that walkability, that sense of place, and really bridging this opportunity or bridging this built and natural environment where you have considerations for nature, because that's really important, especially as, climate change, climate resilience. We want to make sure that a city can continue to thrive in all types of environments, all types of weathers. And yeah, just being able to provide that sort of built environment that allows that to thrive, as well as a built environment that allows communities to thrive and prosper.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Councilmember Fung.
Thank you for joining us, Terrence, and it's good to know that we have some really qualifying people who would like to serve. My question here is, I took a little bit of a liberty to modify the question a little bit, but if you can, kind of give us your sense of, describe what you think the Millbrae future should look like for yourself as well as for your family. Think about it more of a physical form and shape, with all the hallmarks of the city, the transportation network, and all of that combined. But more importantly, how do you see yourself living in this city, say 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now? Where would you like to see the city move into?
That's a great question. I think there is a lot to think about for the city. There's a lot of opportunities for the city. Just even in the recent years, seeing how Millbrae Station has grown a lot. There's a lot of economic opportunities that have risen from that. Just seeing a lot of the development that has happened. There's been a lot of night market events that have occurred there. And I think that's really what I enjoy and want to see really prosper and thrive in Millbrae, is just being able to use those public spaces, both for the economic resilience of the city, as well as the opportunity to create these events for people to gather. I think just public spaces are very important for people. As I had mentioned before, it's really a way to create that a sense of community with people, where you really get to know your neighbors, build that familiarity with everyone. And so I think building upon that, that's really what I like to see continue, is a lot of these public spaces, being able to continue being able to thrive. New developments like the one on Broadway, where there will be incorporating a public plaza, things like that. That's an opportunity to have development be a way to provide benefits for the public and for a greater good. So those are just some of the examples that I see Millbrae building toward that I would like to see them continue. Some of the other things that I'm really excited about and would like to see grow are, the specific plan for downtown Millbrae and Broadway and El Camino Real. Just seeing something become more public or public transit-oriented, multimodal transit-oriented, just as a way for different people to be able to access, get into Millbrae, and for people within Millbrae to get into downtown, because there's a lot that the city, the downtown, does have to offer. And so that's what I really would like to see, is just that walkability and opportunity for people to be interconnected both with the city and with each other. And then finally, the last thing I would really like to see grow is providing more aspect of the natural environment, of nature, of landscape into the city. Because the city, as of now, there really is not as much of trees or urban forests that the city has, and that's pretty crucial, especially as we move into much hotter summers and such. We do need that shade protection. We do need a windbreak from heavy, strong winds that come through. And so I would like to see a lot more of that come through, just because that provides that sort of comfortability for people. It provides that environment that people can be connected to nature, because ultimately nature is really what allows us to thrive in. Cities have to be built around nature, because there's all these different constraints of nature, whether it's heat or precipitation and flooding, that we all have to take into account. So once we begin to live more with nature, that's an opportunity for the city to become more resilient as well.
Thank you. We'll now go to Vice Mayor Rinaldi.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Mr. New, and thank you for your service to the Enhancement Committee. My question has to deal with the different districts within Millbrae and architectural character. Being a lifelong resident of Millbrae, I've seen a lot of change, some for the better, some not so much, but Millbrae keeps moving forward in a good direction. Probably the reason why you decided to call it home. So my question is, how do you perceive the role of planning commissioner in terms of maintaining the architectural character and standards of specific neighborhoods in commercial districts and design review?
I think architectural character is really a part that makes the city unique. That sort of sense of place that I was talking about earlier. There is a distinctive look and feel, especially of the older houses that have that character. And so that is something that I've seen that has been in the works, and I would like to see continue grow and yeah, be able to have something that provides a more unified look within neighborhoods that is distinctive of the time period that it was built. With that being said, I do think that cities, one, should be able to preserve some of the historic character of the city, but also find a way for a balance to grow as well, because the city does need to change, it does need to adapt. There are different methods and opportunities for it to adapt within the constraints of these architectural characteristics to still be modernized and still be usable in everyday life and everyday in the future as well. So I think there really is a balance that does need to happen between preserving a lot of what the historic character is, but also allowing the city to continue to thrive and develop for the future as well.
Thank you, Mr. New.
Well, thank you very much. We do have a few more minutes, and I just wanted to ask you something else based off of your occupation. Do you currently have any projects that you're working on in Millbrae, and would you take on future clients within Millbrae?
So I currently do not have any projects within Millbrae. Most of my projects are with the city of San Francisco and larger municipalities, such as San Jose or other areas outside of the state. We haven't had as many projects with Millbrae itself. However, if that were to arise and if I were to be on a project like that, that would, and there was some project that came around to the Planning Commission, and if I were to be a commissioner, I would likely recuse myself of that project, since there would be a potential conflict of interest, whether it's with that client that I'm working with and this proposed project. So in that case, I would have to step aside just to remain impartial.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you for applying and taking the time to interview with us. We're going to have a short break right now, but we'll come back at 7 o'clock. And if it's okay with the rest of the council, I think I'd like to move this up in the agenda, and, because we have the applicants here waiting, and we'll also take public comment and then discuss and have a vote. Okay, well, thank you very much, and we will take a break and come back at 7 p.m.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.